Seeing how YouTube and social media changes what we think is true is by seeing, tasting, and experiencing it for ourselves. Because experiencing it makes us more confident for ourselves and confirms an opinion and decision on what we think about things officially, as that's how we learn and gain knowledge. However, we can find out about things the easy way or the hard way. Learning things the easy way means you can gain knowledge without having anything bad happen to you, while learning the hard way is the opposite, where you learn it but it costs you all sorts of problems. So how do we learn and educate ourselves about what's going on with the world? The easy way, as there are all sorts of ways of receiving useful information, from looking at statistics, articles, books, to speaking to people who have experienced what you're interested in, and just risking experiencing things for ourselves. One time, I ended up visiting a part of the world where people said what it really wasn't. Generally, it's not clever or nice to make videos about people in a negative way. But if someone is posting content that is so unreliable to the point that you could put people's lives in danger, then that is probably when you should call someone out for it. On YouTube, there is a phenomenon about travel bloggers visiting Pakistan, and a YouTuber, Drew Binsky, is a great example of that. Drew Binsky is a travel blogger on YouTube with nearly 4 million subscribers. One of his most popular videos have been about Pakistan, with some of his videos gaining 9 million views. Within his videos, he would say things such as,
I just want to let you guys know that Pakistanis are some of the warmest, most hospitable people I've ever met in this world, and you guys have to come to Pakistan. Do me a favor and come to this country and you'll see what it's like for yourself.
He would even say with certain places which were near the Afghan border that the government FCDO advises against all travel to, the city district of Peshawar, and Drew made a video saying this about the city.
Well, I can't even put it into words. It goes beyond any video can ever explain, beyond any words can ever explain. The only thing I can say to you is to come here and see what it's like for yourself, and I really hope you can, because it's just about as good as it gets.
Well, guys, I've just literally landed to Peshawar. Oh, this is the bus station over here, guys, and it is absolutely mental.
Yeah, but in our tradition, people are very much generous. They're hospitable, but the issue of women is very, very, very sensitive. So you have to keep away from women here. They are traditional ladies, and they do not interact with men at all, and especially stranger men. Never ever.
And this was a place that governments around the world advise against all travel to. Why is this content so dangerous? It's because it overhypes people into visiting places that have proven to be unsafe without taking a lot into consideration. Drew, like with many other travel bloggers, don't demonstrate and prove why these countries like Pakistan are safe to visit. What is safe? Something that is safe could mean anything. Like, you don't feel vulnerable. You feel like this place is your safe space. It's safe for you to express who you truly are. And after traveling there myself, Pakistan was pretty much none of these. It's dangerous when misinformation goes viral, because listening to the wrong information can put a lot of people in danger of getting into bad situations and not having the government there for them. Someone can get hurt. What happens if you're a gay or trans person watching this and you get inspired by Drew Binsky's content and decide to go to Pakistan, and by the time you arrive, you get beaten up and arrested for being gay or trans? And from what I've experienced going here, Pakistan is a very dangerous place to be gay. Majority of the people are against it, and it's illegal as well. Women also have very few rights in the country, especially with Peshawar and the tribal areas, where women have almost nothing. There are all sorts of articles and evidence online about how poorly women are treated in Pakistan. There are also a lot of stories as well about how awful Pakistanis treat ethnic minorities, such as burning down churches just because someone in Sweden ripped out a book of their religion, forcing Hindus to convert to Islam, which is a form of this, and calling Pakistani Muslims from other branches and sects to not be proper Muslims, and targeting Kalash women. Polygamy is also legal in Pakistan, and men are allowed to have up to 4 wives there. And Drew Binsky only tends to show the very best of the country, and rarely often shows the downsides about the country. And that's important because you want to know what is the worst that could happen while being here, so you are aware and know how to avoid getting into a bad situation when traveling. So in general, misleading a large following fan base into visiting places that are proven to be unsafe for tourists is definitely an abhorrent thing to do. And all it shows is how much a false advertiser Drew Binsky is. And he's not the only person who's been like this on YouTube. And Pakistan isn't the only country he's been like this towards either. He is just the most obvious, and it makes me question what Drew Binsky's purpose behind all his content was, as I don't know Drew Binsky too well. I don't know what motivates him. What he said in his content, he may have actually have meant it, but it just didn't go the right way, or he's telling his viewers with other travel bloggers to visit these places because he's extremely misogynistic and think gay people shouldn't exist. I can't be sure. I also just want to say that I've been to other Islamic countries before, like Turkey and Azerbaijan, and they weren't like this much, and did actually have a really good time visiting those places, and their Islamic countries. Race also has nothing to do with the problem either on what I dislike about Pakistan. In general, there is nothing wrong with being different from the West. There's nothing wrong with having different traditions and cultures to the West. The issue that I have are with Pakistani traditions specifically are harmful to the people and discriminate against people from different backgrounds, like not being Muslim or a woman, and puts people from other countries who aren't like them at a threatening, vulnerable disadvantage. That's what I have a problem with. The tradition of being different to ours is not what I judge, but when that tradition takes rights away from certain groups of people, that's a problem. And this isn't taken entirely based on Pakistani actions, not by who they are. Yes, in the West, our country and religion has a history of doing that stuff. The British Empire has a history of treating ethnic minorities like trash, and Christian fundamentalism is a thing, but secularism is way more dominant in Christianity than it is in Islam, and that it's dangerous and intimidating for non-Muslims. And this suggests that a lot of what you see on YouTube is not reliable, because the censorship isn't strong enough. There are very limited rules on YouTube whatsoever. If you upload a video, YouTube doesn't check if the video is suitable to be uploaded until the video has been uploaded. People have uploaded really graphical content on YouTube before that wouldn't be suitable for TV use, and YouTube doesn't take it down until someone sees it and reports it. And as people say, when something gets uploaded, it stays on there forever. Even if whoever owns the video deletes it, people can download it and re-upload it before it got taken down. And as anyone can use YouTube, non-professionals have the same rights to YouTube as professionals. And that means that unqualified people can get involved in things that they're not qualified for. And there's a reason why some people aren't allowed into certain things, partly because of health and safety reasons, not just for your own good, but for other people also, as 38% of Americans have at the very least a bachelor's degree, while 92% of Americans have access to the internet, which means that there's a large percentage of Americans who use platforms like YouTube who don't even have a bachelor's degree. And that's why if you want to learn a new language, you join a course that teaches me exactly that. If I'm interested in learning about a religion, I speak to a religious scholar. If you have questions about a certain country that you are interested in visiting, you should speak to a travel agent, go to a local embassy of that country where you can meet people who have grown up and lived in these countries their whole life that could tell you anything you need to know. Or you should ask your government's country's embassy, not some 4-minute video on YouTube. In conclusion, the best way to trust something is when it has been backed up with evidence and statistics by approved licensed companies. And as Gottfield Libbins puts it, when a truth is necessary, the reason can be found by analyze and resolving it into simpler ideas and into simpler truths until we reach those which are primary. So be aware of people who falsely advertise. And if travel bloggers saying that countries like Pakistan are safe, and if so, does a country that has black pit holes on the pavement you can fall under, electric barbed wires scattered all over the streets, drivers drive so uncarefully because they don't use seatbelts, and locals harassing you for money, and people recommending that you hire a tour guide or a bodyguard sound like a safe country to you? And since traveling to 15 countries within my life, Pakistan is by far the most dangerous. This phenomenon of traveling to these countries just sounds no different to what is happening in the Xinjiang province of China, where the government licensing foreign vloggers to create a whitewash in the Uyghur situation. If people say that something is good without proof, they could be false advertisers, and don't listen to those kinds of people.